Hello and welcome to the stream. As the guys finalise practice for this 60-minute sprint for Race on Oz at Monza. This has been a bit of a last-minute thing, so I'm sort of just making it up as I go a bit at the moment, but we'll make it work today. If anyone is listening, if you can let me know how the audio sounds, because I have literally thrown this together, and if I need to mess with the mic or car audio, that would be useful. Rightio, we've got those last 5 minutes of practice, so we get a bit of an idea of the sort of pace out there at the moment, but not too sure on sort of what they're doing, whether they're doing quali runs or practice runs, but usual suspects up near the top. But quite a few new drivers have joined Race on Oz for this season. Yeah, quite a few new names, which I do not recognise, but also quite a few returning names as well. Some awesome liveries as always. Got ACC cameras doing their thing. How many Red Rebel teams do you have, JMac? as we getting to near the end of practice. So we've got some pretty quick times up the front. Lawrenson doing 47.2s. Mia ROOZ just behind, but does look like probably a few people haven't really put in a representative lap time. Now for tonight's race, it was planned to have the LFM BOP, but BOP, but I believe this race doesn't actually have it tonight, just due to a few little technical gremlins. So it could be a bit interesting. There might be some cars probably outperforming others without the LFM BOP, but I'm pretty sure for the next round at Imola it will definitely be back in. So it should be an interesting race. Monza can always be a bit of carnage. Obviously got a lot of new people in, so we'll see how they go, and hopefully fit in with the ROOZ motto of nice clean racing. But the first race of the season always can be a little bit messy. Right, we're coming to the end of practice now as we move into quali. I'll do my best to try and keep track of the key times, but if you can see the leaderboard on the right hand side, as they're going through, if you see a purple box next to their number, that means they're potentially putting the fastest lap on the track, and the green boxes whether they're improving on their previous best, and a red box means they've invalidated, which can be a bit helpful to try and keep track of times. And welcome Heather, Paul's biggest fan as always. Yeah, rightio. Rightio, we'll get ready for quali. Right, here we go. Who's our first car out? Oh, Mia's out first. So, we've got a 15-minute session. We've got a fast track with some rain on the horizon. But this session should be well and truly over before that hits. But we'll wait and see. Rightio, if we'll watch Mia's, as she's the first on track. We might watch this first lap on board. Ooh. So Mia's in McLaren, which is, from all reports, very, very good around here at Monza. So we have a 15-minute session here. Get quite a few laps. It's quite a quick lap around Monza. So everyone should get plenty of runs. Yeah, let's do a on board with Mia and we'll see what the first lap will be like. first chicane. Looks pretty neat so far. And nice exit. A little Curva Grande, I think is what it's called. The second chicane. Just a grip of dirt on the exit there as we come into the first of Lesmos. A little wide, a little bit leery on the throttle there for the second. Super important corner all the way, got a nice exit all the way up the hill to Ascari. Ascari can be quite deadly in some of these cars if you hit these sausages the wrong way, especially this one on the inside. No problems there for Mia. Rightio, through Parabolica. Let's see our first time. So our first fast time across the line is a 1:46.8 for Mia. So Benjamin is a 1:48. Jacob. So Mia is improving. Some good laps so far from most of the field, but Mia's still quite a fair way out. Lawrenson the closest, but still 6/10 down is Terry in the Laundry House Honda this season, trying something different. So Mia is improving. Ricker has moved up to P2, just over half a second behind. Here's Matt Frost, who's improving on his lap, only up by a few tenths, but is definitely improving. Ricker has invalidated his second lap. Doesn't look like anyone on purple pace at this point. Audi looks like a handful. Chris in the lone Lexus. He's so far P14. Bad showing so far. We've still got a few pros who haven't set a lap time yet. Hayes is in P9, who's improving by half a second. So that should move Hayes up a few spots into 5th. Chris Taylor is in 9th in silver. Here comes Lawrenson, who moves up to 2nd and 0.2 behind Mia with a 1:47 flat, basically. Mike Stevens is, where is he? P17. Here's Wally in 21st. It looks like if we can find Mia. Let's try and find Mia. So Mia is up on her best lap so far. Up by a tenth. Nearly 2 tenths as we come through Ascari. Very clean. There's going to be a new benchmark here for Mia. That is a 1:46.5. Impressive lap. Terry improved ever so slightly. Gets him to 7th. Frost up to 6th. So better lap. Taylor's coming out of the pits. Chris Hildebrand is in 15th. Nice improvement so far through the first chicane. So it does look like if we're going to try and find Ricker. Ricker is improving. Not quite enough, I think. Might get Lawrenson. Yep, he gets Lawrenson, but still nearly half a second off the lead. So do we have everyone with a lap? Let's go to the back of this field. So everyone does have a clean lap, which is good. So at the moment in AM, Bonholm is leading. Doesn't look like anyone is improving at the moment. A lot of invalidated laps. Oh, very wide there by Mia. There's Neil Fackney, crunch. Back in the Lambo again this season. He's improving on his current time, which might just get him in front of Stevens. .49.2, will that be enough? Will that get him up to 20th? Yes, just. And then Stevens return serves. No. Lee Perkins is up to 13th. Adrian Rice is currently down on his best lap. Andrew Bonholm, who's the highest AM at the moment, is 2/10 down on his best. Andy is getting ready for a hot lap. Looks like we've got rain in less than 10 minutes. So I think anyone who hasn't got a decent lap in needs to get it in now. But Mia is improving again on the previous best. Lawrenson is up a couple of tenths. Oh, he's pretty much dead even with where he was. Ricker invalidated, so did Hignett. It's a big gap from Mia back through to the field. Lawrenson is not really improving, and he's had a car spin right in front of him there, which not super useful for him there. Terry Rayton has invalidated. Brad Cook is slightly improving on his lap. He's tight with him and Hignett, so we might follow along with Brad's lap here and see where he comes out. It does look like Mia is improving again. Currently purple on the tracker. Put a bigger gap on that field. So Brad has invalidated. Vinny is improving by over half a second on this lap, which should bump him up the order much better. Mia, where's Mia? Mia's just crossing the line. No. Mia is... Where is Mia? There she is. There. Lawrenson is not improving. Ricker, not improving. Herb, not improving. Taylor is invalidated. Mia is only barely up on their best lap. Potentially, depending on how good Parabolica is, do this wonderful bonnet cam. Not quite as good as their best lap. It's going to be an ever so slight improvement, but look at the colour of that sky. It is definitely dropping, but that's now a 1:46.507. We're a class above everyone else in the field. So we have Rice in P19. That's Ricker is not improving. Lawrenson is pretty much dead level with where he is. Cook is invalidated. Vinny is not improving. Terry is invalidated. Nando is not on a great lap. Either is Benjamin. Mitch is not improving, but very close. Jacob Fleming, who's currently in P17, is improving. Super tight between him and Hurley. For some reason his livery hasn't come through, so I will try and fix that for the next race. As we got inside the last minute. Hurley has lost that. Crunch is invalidated. Perkins is invalidated. Hurley is up by 0.3 on this lap. 0.3. That should get him to 12th. A 1:48.2 predicted. Yeah, maybe even 11th. Depending on how good his Parabolica is, but he's lost a bit of time out of Ascari. Mia behind is improved again. So we have Hurley potentially going to jump up 3 or 4 spots here. As Hurley gets into 16th, as ROOZ does now a 1:46.3 to be 0.6 clear of the field. Everyone will be getting onto their last laps as Ricker is not improving. Lawrenson is not improving enough. Cook tight between himself and Hignett, who is now in the pits. But based on that, a 1:47.3, 1:34.5. That'll be tight. How good is his Parabolica? $37.5. Might be good enough for a P4. As he crosses the line, Mitch Hayes is improving slightly. Cook was not quite good enough. Hayes not enough. Oh, Jacobs had a big crunch. No improvement there. No improvement. No improvement for Hurley. Or slight improvement. Might get into P11. Super tight. Hurley is the last, I'm pretty sure, of the runners to meet the flag. So let's on board. It's done enough. Might even get to P10, depending on this exit. And across the line. That was a pretty crazy qualifying there. So, rightio. Rightio. So, if we look at qualifying there, so Mia on pole, Ricker in second, Lawrenson in third. Hignett is the top of the silvers in fourth, with Hurley second in silver, and third is Hildebrandt in silver, with bottom in Bonham is leading Am. Rightio, as we get ready for the race. Rightio, let's get ourselves... Rightio, so let's... Rightio, so as we get ready for this race, excuse me, rules for tonight: 60-minute race, mandatory for just tyres, yeah, so mandatory tyre stop. So it'll be interesting how this goes, whether people just do an even 50-50 split, because you're doing mandatory tyres, they fix your time. It's not really worth. It's not worth really doing less fuel. Sorry, just turning down the race comms. But yeah, not a huge amount for strategy here. This is very much a 60-second sprint, but as anyone who's watched a Monza race, if you can survive the first lap, that's normally an achievement. But we'll wait and see. Right, as we another minute until we start, and then we'll run through this grid. Rightio, as we get ready for the formation lap, we'll read the grid. So, on pole with a pretty damn impressive time was Mia in the McLaren. In second is Ricker in another McLaren. Andy Lawrenson in really nice livery on that Audi. In fourth is Benjamin Hignett, a new person to the league I haven't come across before, in the Lambo. We have Brad Crook in the Porsche, again another new person this season I haven't seen around before. We then have Paul Russell in that awesome camel livery Lambo. That looks amazing, who has been around for a very long time. And really good qualifying for him. He wasn't expecting much tonight. Then we have Matt in the Audi, Mitch Hayes in another Lambo in P8, Terry Rayton for Team Waterhouse in the Honda this season in P9, with Vinny Canonero in another Porsche, are in P10. We then come to Hurley in the first of the Ferraris in P11. Andrew Bonham, who I believe again is someone new to this league, but part of that massive red Rebel Racing squad of J-Max, who is in P12. We've got Chris Hildebrandt in the lone Lexus in 13th. Chris Taylor in 14th in the Honda. Lee Perkins in 15th. Nando Latanzio way down as 16th. Must have had a shocker of a quali. He was doing some impressive times Wednesday, but in that awesome Marlboro Ferrari. Neil Frankney in the Lambo. Herb Atron in a McLaren in AM. Mark Stevens in another Ferrari in P20. Bridgens in 21st in a Beamer. Wally Madison in the Audi, and Adrian Rice is in the pits. Rightio, as we get ready for this race. Should be interesting. As we said, a mandatory stop for tyres only for this race. We might do a bit of... let's do this one, I think, for camera, and hopefully we see no carnage. Rightio. Excuse me. Rightio, here we go. They start forming up in the 2x2 as we come into the Parabolica. First race of the season. This one could be chaos. But let's hope for the best. Let's hope we get a nice clean lap one. There's always that massive concertina into turn one, but let's get ready. As Mia will lead them away from P1 and that wonderful livery on that McLaren. The Audi is always a bit of a monster off the line as we get ready, as we wait for that green flag. Green flag. Mia gets a really good jump, so does Ricker. Ricker is in the draft as Lawrenson is up the inside. As we're 3-4 wide coming down the straight as we come in, as Lawrenson has made a move down the inside. As we go back, so far we've had a spinner as Chris, a slight tap, oh, and another tap, and we've got Paul Russell around. Hopefully, oh, bad luck for Russell, and Rice is exiting the pit. So, what the hell happened here? Mia has got a massive lead from Ricker and then Lawrenson. We'll have to go back and watch that turn one chaos to see what the hell happened there. We'll just get a few laps in. So it's Mia from Ricker, from Lawrenson, from Hignett, from Cook, from Frost, Hayes. We're now 3 wide up to Saskari. Hopefully someone lets go. Get through Ascari. Rightio. So unfortunately for Chris Hildebrandt and Paul Russell, they copped the worst of the turn one, with Paul Russell down 16 and Hildebrandt down 6. But Mia is already 2.4 seconds clear from Ricker and Lawrenson, with a bit of a gap then to Hignett. Cook pretty close behind. We have Frost is pretty clear with Terry Rayton and Chris Taylor. So we've got a potential pass here for Mitch Hayes on Bonham. Can he make it stick around the outside? No. Vinny is going to try and make the move around this outside and has done that. Rightio, pretty chaotic. Damage on Russell's car there. Looks like Lee Perkins has had a problem as well. He's now a long way back and then Rice bring up the rear. So, as we get to the end of lap 2, Mia in a comfortable lead so far from Ricker and then Lawrenson. Sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:47.9. Vinny makes a dive down the inside and has made that stick. Ricker and Lawrenson are both on some pretty good laps. Let's we'll just watch another. Oh, Ricker's very wide there. Just watch this one more lap and then we'll go back and check that replay for what happened in turn 1 for Mia to get such a lead, and then also what happened to poor Hildebrandt and then Russell, who are very unfortunate. Lawrenson is right up behind Ricker here. These cars are pretty closely matched from horsepower and straight line speed, so it'll be interesting to see how much that draft makes a difference. Or is Ricker a bit sideways, which will hurt that exit? Will that give Lawrenson the chance to get in that draft, as Ricker is sort of holding the middle of the road? He's stick there, and Lawrenson just doesn't quite have the overspeed on the McLaren. Rightio, let's quickly go back and check this replay. Right, let's see. So what happened here? Oh, Ricker got into Lawrenson, which just caused a massive check-up, which unfortunately then meant poor Russell had absolutely nowhere to go. Yeah, big check-up. Poor Russell got spun. Oh, so unlucky for Russell there. If we see it from his point of view. Comes down. Ooh, a little deep. And then, oh, big check up, and then just, he is the unlucky victim there. And the other spinner was Chris Hildebrandt. So let's see what happened to Chris here. Was he just a victim of that same check up? Oh no, he got punted pretty hard from behind there. Yeah, big check-up as what happens, and then yeah, that spin didn't happen, and I think poor Chris then, unfortunately, yeah, lit up those tyres after the spin. Oh yeah, then poor Herb just helped him around again, and then just unlucky. Rightio, let's get back to the race. So nothing much has changed in the leaderboard. Still, Mia, Ricka, Lawrenson, Hignett and Cook are having a great battle. We have Frost, who's moved up one position. Rayton, who's moved up 2 in P7. Vinny is up 2. Chris Taylor is up 5. He's right behind that battle, and we've got a bit of a gap to Mitch Hayes, who's lost 2. Hurley, it was my camera trying to sort its stuff out. There it goes. We've got a nice big battle path here with Bonham, Fleming, Natanzio and Crunch. Let's see if we can get a better view. That camera is terrible. Super close here. These guys have all made up some positions at the start. Nando will be looking to make some moves after say from his own case, probably disappointing qualifying. He does look like he's carrying a bit of damage on the front of that car, who probably got caught up in that concertina. And you have Crunch, who's just ever so slightly falling off the pack, as Latanzio got a great exit, which sort of put him to the side, but that Beamer is an absolute weapon down the straight. But is he going to be close enough to make the move? He's going to... oh, no, not quite. We then have Mark Stevens, who's up 4. Bridget, who has a lot of damage on the front of that car, who got caught up with the concertina, with then Hildebrand, who's recovered a couple of positions, with Wally, who I think he in practice sounds like he's struggling a bit in that Audi, with Russell going to make the move on the inside of Curva Grande, which will probably put him on the outside for this second chart, but Wally has just decided better part of and just let him through. We have then Rice and Herb, who looks like, Rice, where's Herb? We lost Herb. Looks like we've lost Herb. Here we go. Ricka and Lawrenson are still having a great battle. So it looks like Herb Atron has gone. Yeah, he's looking pretty quick there, J-Mac, but no bop, so that McLaren is obviously pretty good around here without the bop, so it'd be interesting. Obviously Imola will be a bit closer, but yes. How many teammates do you have now, J-Mac? As Ricka, as I was talking to J-Mac there, got passed by Lawrence and down into the first chicane. Is Ricka going to make a return move? It does look like Lawrenson just has the pace. Lawrenson does seem to be pulling away. As Cook did manage to pass Hignett, must have happened while we're on the replays, who's sort of pulled a bit of a gap. See a bit of no man's land. Frost is now catching. From Rayton. So where's some of our... Let's get to... This battle pack is nowhere near as close as it was. Oh! Oh no! Poor Russell. Absolutely low luck tonight. Absolutely none. There's Paul Stevens has spun in front of him. Yeah, and Russell's car looks done. Yeah, and looks like Russell is out. And yeah, Russell, that was a big hit. And Bonham, unlucky in that, who was leading AM at the time, who I believe got caught up in that accident as well. Looks like Taylor has scored a heap of damage as well. And also did Mark Stevens. That one accident really caused a lot of carnage. Mio is still miles in front from Lawrenson, who is starting to pull a gap from Ricker. Frost is starting to catch Hignett. He's now 0.5. The cameras of this track are not great, I'll be honest. Where's any other close battles? So Hildebrand has got back to his starting position after that horrendous lap one for him. He got super lucky with that spin. Oh, Latanzio has a lot more damage to that car now. Yeah, got a lot of cars in the pits. So Latanzio is now the last of our runners in P17. Bonham is still in the pits. Hurley, Fleming, Crunch. There's Herb. I don't know where he disappeared to, but... So he is the first of the stoppers, but these guys have all had to stop because of damage. And it looks like where is Herb? Herb is a lap down, first of the lap down runners, with Chris Taylor. Chris Hildebrand. Actually, is he? Sorry, I might be... Yes, he is. Herb's in 18th from Taylor. Then from... Right, yeah, sorry, a bit confusing now. As Hildebrand, Wally, and Bridgens. There's Rice, who's doing a pretty good job of coming through the field after a pit lane start. Friend Stevens, whose car is now fixed. And yeah, Nando's car is looking very sorry for itself. You might be better off just making a stop. From, yeah, Paul Bonham. You put the Moz on him there, J-Mac. Talk him up and then got caught up in a wreck. And he's now... Where is he? On track. This is the 176. There is a lap, over a lap down now. And Mia is still a gap between Mia and Andy has sort of equalised. Let's get out to closest battle here, which is Crunch and Fleming. So both Crunch and Fleming have done well and inherited from some of the carnage. And yeah, can confirm Paul Russell has retired from the race. Well, look at it, unfortunately. Looks like it, or is he still in the pits? We do have quite a few cars in the pits right now. Let's see who you have in pits at the moment. So Latanzio is in the pits, fixing his car. Right. So he comes out and he is, yeah, the only car in the pits. Righto, Wally and Richards are having a great battle. It seems like they seem to be going back and forwards with each other. So Wally should have that move done. Richards probably a bit slow down the straight with that front end damage. Yeah, Nando's had a bit of a poor race tonight. So Mia is just sort of keeping that gap at that 5.5 second mark. And Lawrenson has pulled a gap on Ricker now, 2.5 seconds. With Cook, who is falling back from Ricker, but has pulled a bit of a gap from Hignett. Oh, big slide on the rears there. Those rear temps would not be liking that. I don't like the look of the colour of this sky. Might have to keep a close eye on that weather. As frost is definitely getting closer. You might right on board. Oh yeah, Paulie, I just caught that on the stream, and yeah, you had no hope. Just he spun right in front of you. Bad luck, mate. That sucked for you. And yeah, and turn one, you were just the unlucky bugger who got turned as well. Super unlucky, mate. Bad luck. You can blame Max and Lawrenson for they had a tap, and then Constantine at all of you guys. Rightio, we might just watch this lap from Frost as he chases Hignett. Oh, actually, Hignett had a very poor exit out of the second Lesmos there. Frost is thinking about, no, backs out, smart move into Ascari. Rightio, now we'll sit back and watch. was a great onboard there, along with Frost as he is chasing down Hignett, as it does look like they're both pushing super hard, that's for sure. If you're still there, Paul, how's the audio? Just want to make sure it's sounding okay. But it does look like the rears on Hignett's Lambo are not super happy, but that weather does look like it potentially could turn. The widgets are saying nothing, but it doesn't look good. We saw it rained right as quali finished. So it's not like rain is out of the question. I wonder how many people were planning to go long just in case. Because tyres can easily make 60 minutes, but whether you wanted to do that extra fuel load or not, so it does slow you down, and that extra 50 odd litres of fuel, but you don't want to have to stop twice. Rightio, let's see what else is going on. Let's go look to Bridgens, who is unfortunately going backwards with that damage. You might want to think about stopping. Cheers, thanks. Dry? Yeah. If you weren't aware, I threw this together literally half an hour before the stream, so didn't get to test anything. Cool. Yeah, so poor Bridgen is carrying a lot of damage on the front of that Beamer, which I'm sure is costing him, especially down the straight, and a bit of front end grip, but he has, since getting that damage, has gradually just fallen backwards. If we go to Latanzio, I need to try and find Herb. Where are you? There we go, and Taylor. We're both first of the guys a lap down. Both cars that are incredibly strong down that straight. But it is definitely getting darker. Be great to see some rain. Spice things up a bit. As Masterton has come into the pits, which what looks like for his scheduled stop, we now have Rice chasing the wounded Bridgens. He probably does look like it's costing him a lot. Oh, as Bridgen goes deep. As I hit the wrong button. Unlucky there for Bridgens. Latanzio is sort of in no man's land from Stevens, who's on the same lap, a couple seconds behind. And yeah, poor Bonham, after J-Mac gave him the Moz. I'm going to blame you on that one, J-Mac, who's now back in 21st after leading AM. Rightio, if we come back and check on the lead. So Mia has pumped out in the last few laps some crazy fast laps and has extended that lead by 2 more seconds. It was 5 a couple of laps ago, it's now 7. So Lawrenson just doesn't have the pace compared to Mia there. Like last couple of laps, what are we doing? Mia's doing 47 flat and Lawrenson did a 47.7. So yeah, it does look like, I don't know whether that Audi is hurting its tyres a bit more, but he has definitely lost a bit of pace, as has Ricker, who's now doing mid 48s, which is not a great time. Cook is ever so slightly catching Ricker, but only by a couple of tenths a lap. As Wallace here is a lap down. Here's go Frost, who... Well, I'm a bit lost. Who I lost here? Oh, yeah, Hignett has boxed. So yeah, Frost is now in P5. Him and Rayton are basically doing pretty much identical lap times, so there's not much between those two. Vinny, with a bit of damage from the turn 1 mess, is at the moment a couple of tenths faster than Terry and Matt in front. So we'll keep an eye on that over the next few laps, as Hayes is sort of in a bit of no man's land, doing the same sort of pace as Vinny. Then we have Hurley, who's a smidgen slower, as Mia. Let's get into these pits. If I get there. So Mia, Ricker, Lawrence and Vinny all in the pits. Cook's in the pits. So that means Frost has inherited the lead, as Mia should come out cleanly with Lawrenson. Let's see if any gain is made in that pit stop. So they're going to... Mia's probably come out in clear air. Lawrenson is potentially going to come out into some traffic. Here's Stevenson. Ricker has got some nice clean air, as does Cook. And Vinny did not repair the damage. And we also have Jacob Fleming and Bridgens, who's coming in to fix that car. I wonder if he's going to do the repairs or not on that one. As Hilbrand as well, who looks like he's potentially fixed that car. Rightio. So Hignett is still behind Cook, because he stopped a lap or two earlier, so he didn't get to jump. Bottoms, so Cook, Ricker, Stevens. So Lawrenson, yeah, that gap to Mia actually extended in the stop. So whether Lawrenson had a bad stop or repaired a little bit of damage from that turn 1 incident, it does look like a clean car. Latanzio, Rice, oops, as I'm going the wrong bloody way. And we have Ricker, who... Yeah, so Lawrenson didn't have a great stop because Ricker has made a little bit of time on him there. So we have Frost and Rayton in the pits. Oh, as we got... Poor Stevens has had another spin. Oh, stay there, stay there. Stay there. Cool, nice. Waited and was patient, thank God. Right. Cook, Hignett, Vinny, and Rayton has... So Vinny has jumped Rayton in the stop, and Frost must have had a shocker. Was Vinny? Yeah. Vinny must have had an awesome stop, because he's managed to jump both... Yeah, Rayton and Frost. Rayton has jumped Frost in the stop. So, yeah, not great at all there. So yet to stop is Hayes, Hurley, Rice and Thankney. So there must have been a shock of a stop there for Matt Frost, as Crunch is still doing some laps. No rain still forecast, so we might get through this, but the wind direction has definitely turned, which can indicate a change in weather. Rightio, as Hurley so Hayes and Hurley, they've both boxed, so that looks like it's changed, stayed the same. So where's Hayes going to come out in this? So it looks like, but he might jump. Matt has had a shocker of a stop. I think Hayes is going to jump Matt as well, and he has. I don't know what happened to poor Matt in that one. Matt has managed to keep the spot over Hurley, but looks like Matt lost like 10 plus seconds in that stop. Rightio, let's go up. So I think as Fagney is yet to stop. Looks like Rice has now stopped. Not just Fagney, who is yet to stop. So he will then obviously drop down the order quite a bit. Probably, I might even get close to Wally there. Rightio, let's get back after the chaos of that. Let's get back to the lead. So Mia keeps the lead with, what do we got, 24 minutes to go, but now has a 11.5 second lead. So as I said, did increase that gap through the stops. Lawrenson has made the stop, who must have not had a great stop because lost a bit of, because Ricker has made a bit of a gain. Ricker and Cook's gap has sort of stayed the same. Look at that. So's that gap to Hignett. The big mover in that stop was Vinny, who has somehow managed to jump both Terry and Matt Frost in the stops. I'll have to find out what happened there. Oh, what's happened to Terry? Terry had to make another... Oh, that looks like a mess of a car. Oh, looks like Terry's had a big shunt there. Unfortunate. We'll get back to where we were. Rightio. We have Frost, who was jumped by Terry in the stop, so it looks like Terry's had a big accident. From Hurley, who didn't make any moves. Stevens. So Crunch is the only driver yet to stop. Is he hoping for some rain, maybe? Not liking his chances, though. And that's Terry out. He has retired after that shunt. I believe potentially I heard Latanzio. Oh, is he still running? Oh, he's still running. So when is Crunch going to stop? After that round of stops, it has settled down quite a bit. Chris was right behind Bridgens, but was being nice for those blue flags, which potentially might have been trying to play it smart, see if he can use Mia to help get past Bridgens, as Bridgens lets Mia through. So let's see, as Mia sets the new fastest lap of the race, so they're 46.9. As Mia went dong. Rightio, let's go on board with Taylor. Looks like Crunch. Has he finally stopped? Where is he? I've lost him. Crunch still hasn't stopped. Right. Do we have anyone super close? Not really. Good to see Alexis out on the field again. With the LFM BOP, which isn't in place for this race, but will be for the rest of the season. It has brought some of these old cars back, which is quite cool. If I was racing, I'd consider driving a Lexus. That was one of the first cars I ever drove in ACC with ROOZ, and I did love it. Such a fun car, even though it is quite old. As we have Jacob in that Beamer. So I'll have to find out where his livery is. So looking at their pace, yeah, a bit faster than Hildebrandt in the last few laps. Let's get to this. Crunch continues to go around. They must really be hoping for rain. But this and Taylor, Bridgens is the closest, if I can find it. Taylor and Bridgens. Crunch is still humming around. So, if we look at the other classes, leading silver is Hignett, who's in P5 from Hurley and then Crunch. Leading AM is Masterton from Bridgens. Masterton is comfortably in front of Bridgens. Taylor is a bit out of position after being caught up in that accident at Ascari, with Herb a bit further behind in AM. Looks like Taylor, let's get, where's Fleming? Fleming has got a bit closer. Oop, a bit messy. So it does look like Fleming is a bit faster, but they are both catching Crunch here. Who's obviously Crunch is on much older tyres and yet to stop. Oh, Fleming outbrake himself there a little, which has given a nice break there. So Lawrenson is actually starting to bring down that gap. Oh, Herb. Looks like he has a heap of damage on that car. Yeah, that car does not look pretty. Another of the Red Rabel racing boys. Is he coming to the pits or is he continuing? It looks like he's continuing. But yeah, Vinny after that stop has got himself up to 6th. And yeah, Hayes in front of Frost as we saw. We've got Hildebrand right behind, if I can find, Crunch, who's still plugging away with yet to stop with 15 minutes remaining. Let's go. Lock up on board. It's potentially cleaning up a little bit out there. As Crunch goes defensive. Oh. I don't think Hildebrand stop him. No. Yep, Hildebrand will let him through. What we love to see at ROOZ is that respect. You make a mistake, you gain an advantage. Even though, because I'm listening to the driver's comms, Crunch told him it was okay, but Chris went, no, I'm going to give it back, which is always great to see. That mutual respect between drivers is what makes this league great. I really do believe that. Yeah, I wonder how much longer Crunch is going to hold out. So that gap that Lawrenson put up into Mia has sort of equalised again, as Hildebrand is going to have another go. Who this time has made the move. Yeah, nice sort of block pass. Crunch sort of let him have it there. Rightio. So Wally is still comfortably leading AM class. Mia is comfortably leading overall with a nearly 11-second gap over Lawrenson. Bridgens and must have been close, but it's not anymore. Oh no, there they are. Oh no, it's... Damn. Yeah, okay. It was close. Bridget might have made a mistake there. There's Latanzio. Are we looking? To maybe capitalise as he lets Ricker through. for those who remember last season, he's got another Marlboro car. Last year on the Aston, it was more of a Brock homage livery. This one's a bit more just a standard Marlboro one. Still looks great. It's one of those sort of classic liveries. If I was taking part this season, my plan was for a M4 with the Tony Longhorse, Benson and Hedges livery. A bit of a retro feel. Fit in with Russell and Nando with old cigarette company liveries that can't exist anymore. But I haven't shown much Brad Cook today, one of only 2 Porsches in the field. I wonder if that's a bit of a Brazilian inspired livery. Yeah, he's done a really good job today. He's just sort of got past Hignett and then just sort of kept it clean and just pumped out some nice consistent laps. And we've got Hignett leading Silver at this stage in the Lambo. Again, done a really good job, showing some pretty good pace. Does look like as it comes to the end of the race, he's dropped a bit of pace compared to what he had before. Last lap was a 49.5 versus his best of a 48.0. Yeah, and then Vinny, who, awesome stop to jump 2 spots. Give himself that P6 from Hayes and from Frost. Here we have Hurley, Herb's damaged car. We got Bonhomme, there's a bit more damage on the front of that car. We got Hildebrandt, who's barely pulling away from Fackney, who's still yet to stop. I wonder if it's my reporting. Is my bot not right? Surely he has to have stopped by now. Had to have. So maybe just my system might not have caught it, because that doesn't make sense where he is now. Because he can't be a pit stop behind. Fleming is slowly catching these guys back up after his mistake into the first chicane a few laps ago that we saw. Rice has sort of had a pretty lonely race today, by the look of it. He's started in the pits, managed to avoid the carnage that occurred in that first lap, and then has sort of just been on his own most of the race. But he's made up 10 spots, so you've got to be pretty happy with that as a strategy, to be honest. Especially for some of the other car guys who have been really shoved around. Here's Wally Masterson in the Audi, who is leading AM. He's done a great job today. Listening to him practice, he didn't sound super happy with the setup on the Audi, but looks like he got a decent race car under it. His pace is nice and consistent, and about the same sort of pace as a little bit faster than most of the AM guys, so that's a good job. Did obviously inherit the lead after Bonham got caught up in the mess. And yeah, poor Stevens has not had a great race. Had a couple of accidents, so I think he just into the pits again. One of our new AMs to the field, so great to see him out there, and the never give up spirit, which is always good to see. There's Taylor again, who was a bit caught up in some of that mess, so he's a bit further back than probably originally planned. It was got my bloody race number too, I just noticed. Not in this season. 17's been my number forever. Latanzio, who, not sure if it was caught up in other people's drama or had some issues himself, but a long way back and a long way off the pace for where he would like to be. Here's Bridgens, sitting in P2 for AM at the moment, doing a great job. Got a nice gap to Herb. I'll find him. Who's a fair way back. Rightio. Oh, phew. That looked messy. Where are we? Anything interesting? Yeah, poor Herbie. Carry on it. It's Bonham carrying a fair bit of damage there. What's that, McLaren? Red Rebel. Wonder if that livery hasn't come through. I'll have to check in on the team. Doesn't look like it's wonder if that's meant to be a full livery that hasn't quite worked properly. I'll have to chat to the guys about that. Yeah, Bonham was in a great position, but yeah, caught up in that same crash that took out Russell, I believe. Right, yeah, here's Amir. With 4 minutes to go, comfortably out in front for this race. 11 seconds clear. Hasn't really looked troubled. Did see that one mistake into Ascari with the lap traffic. Obviously just lost the braking point there, which can be easy to do. But no real harm there. Yeah, effortless drive. Lawrenson, after making that move on Rico in the first 10-15 minutes of the race, has not had that pace of that Macca. They're sort of doing similar lap times, but I think when it counted, and obviously lost a bit of time behind Max there, but I think Mia just had that bit of extra pace tonight. Yeah, there's Ricker currently in P3. Probably have, what, 2, maybe 3 laps remaining. No rain, which is disappointing. Who haven't we looked at much? Where's Mia? Rightio. So I think we'll have 2 more laps after this. So the only battle that's probably close right now is, if I can find it, is Fleming is coming up on the back of Crunch, and they're right at, nearly at the back of the queue, so still got 2 laps remaining. So might as well watch this through. It's definitely not close enough yet for a move, but has been steadily gaining by 3 to 4 tenths a lap. Sort of comes and goes for the two of them. As Herb gets out of the way, as Mia will come around to start, or no, to finish the race. I wasn't expecting that. Didn't time that very well. So Mia is our winner from Andy Lawrenson in P2, which from Ricker in P3, and Wally crossed the line to secure the AM victory. With Chris Taylor, Stevenson, Nando. Cook will come home in P4. Lovely drive for first race with us in the team. Bridgens will come home in 17th, will be P2 in AM. And here's Benjamin Hignett, who will come home in P5 overall and first in the silver class. Well done. Really impressive drive there. We've got Vinny. We've got Hayes in 7th. Frost in 8th. Hurley in 9th. And we have Hildebrand, who's a fair way back. So yeah, Hurley was P2 in silver. We've got Hildebrand, who is going to be P3 in silver, by the look of it. So yeah, P3 and P10. P3 in silver, P10 overall for Hildebrand. P11 for Crunch, 12 for Fleming. Atria is going to come home at P3 in AM and P18 with Rice in P13 and Bonholm coming home in 19th. What a great race. Awesome race to see. Again, congratulations to Mia with that incredible win. Hignett with the silver win and Massiston with the AM win. Awesome race there. I will be back next week to stream the sprint at Imola. So same time next week. I will look forward to seeing some of you there. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you then.